This is podcast number 3. Just got back from Laos. Laos. So, just got back from Laos about a week ago. And I'm just gonna talk about the trip, how it was. It was nice. And I have a list here, so I'm just gonna go through it. And then we landed. We had a layover. It's about a 2-day layover. But our flights were like $500 each, which is pretty good. So like going to Minnesota. But we landed in Vientiane. That was cool. We stayed for like a day and a half or so. And the night market is right by the Mekong River. And there's so much stuff there, but everything's from China. So when we were walking through the night market, it was like a 30 to 40 minute walk, like a slow pace walk. It's probably like a mile and a half long or so. And then they have a variety of stuff, but every 10 to 15 booths they'd be selling the same shit over and over. Not as much craft there, just warehouse stuff that they bought from China to sell, like t-shirts and cheap knockoffs. And there's a lot of temples in Vientiane, which is pretty cool too. There's a gold temple. We got there pretty late, around 5 p.m, which they closed, but we took pictures outside of it, and that was cool. We just walked around. It's December, but it's still so hot there. And the Hmong people, there's mostly Lao people there, but you can still see a few Hmong people. Most of them are tourists, but some of them are from the surrounding areas visiting. Most of the Hmong people live on the outskirts of Vientiane, because Vientiane is the capital of Laos. So Hmong people live like outside of it, like outside Minneapolis or outside Sacramento, stuff like that. And the Mekong River was huge. We went on the Friendship Bridge, which runs to Thailand, and then we went halfway and came back because we're not planning to go to Thailand. I wish I did. And the river's really muddy. That's probably most of the time. It's like brown. And I only saw a few people fishing, but looks pretty polluted. And next stop, we went all the way to Ponsabon, which was a crazy ass drive. We just drove everywhere because it is cheaper, but it's time consuming. It was like a 7-8 hour drive, and then it started raining when I got there. The good thing, Ponsabon is like, it's like the busy city. Yeah, it has a lot of people there too. Ponsabon's like the Vientiane of Singapore, which is its own section of Laos. But the markets were cool. They're cheap. They have a variety of stuff, and you can eat for like 10 to 15,000 kip, which is about under $2. But yeah, and the New Year's there, it's I would say it's the biggest place for New Year's out of Laos, because it has a whole area for the booths and stuff. It's on the side of a mountain, and at the top of the hill there's like a huge they threw rocks on top of this flat area with a huge stage, I would say that area is as big as Fresno, and yeah, it's the biggest area that I've seen in Laos for New Year's. And there's so much stuff to do there. But it rained the night before, so it was so muddy. My shoes were all messed up, but I bought some cheap ass shoes to walk around with because I didn't want to mess up my Nikes. And yeah, there's a lot of different girls that went there too, but I'll talk about that later. And we went to the Plain of Jars, which is in Ponceval, just south of it. And it's probably about like a 20-minute drive from the hotel. And it's not too expensive. It's probably like 10 or 15,000 kip, which is about under $2 to get in. Only if you're a local. You gotta get the local person to pay for it, so it's cheaper. Because if you're foreign, it's probably like 30,000 kip or something, which is twice as much. But yeah, that's only like $3. And like we were staying at the hotel for probably like 3 or 4 days, and then one night I was just walking outside. To the left of us, there's like a bunch of little restaurants that cook. And then I saw a picture of a dog. I was like, oh. Then I was like, wait, they have a dog next to a chicken, next to a pig. And then somebody said, my friend said, oh, they barbecue dogs here. I was like, God, I wouldn't even eat the chicken because it's on the same grill as the dogs. So yeah, they do eat dogs there, but I'm not opposed to it, but it's just, I think everything there's really, really dirty. I think they just kill stray dogs and then just cook them and eat them. Yeah, I'm not gonna try that. And then after Pongsavan, we drove to Lo Prabang, which is a crazy drive too. The distance is shorter, but the roads are so bad. It has so much potholes. It's like Ace Ventura. You're driving off-road and stuff. And then we'd stop by, there's lots of little towns out there that Hmong people live in. A lot of Hmong people live in Laos. And yeah, they just live in these shacks that they built themselves. And they can't go to the big cities like Vientiane or Pongsavan or Lo Prabang to host New Year's. So they do it in town, but there's no open area, so because it's in the middle of the mountains, so this little stretch of land that's off the cliff, it's probably about like 50 feet by 20 feet or something. Yeah, like 75 feet by 20 feet. They'll just ball right there off the road and stuff. Mostly just little kids, but it was pretty cool how they celebrated it. They're all in Hmong clothes and stuff. And we would see the most random people. Oh, my dad knows them, but I don't know them. We would see the most random people from our hometown or from Cali. And then some from Minnesota, Wisconsin. Yeah, we think it's a small world out there. Two-day flight. But then we run into some people we know. Yeah, so as soon as we got to Lo Prabang, it's like a lot of Hmong people there too. Pongsavan, there's a lot of Hmong people that live in the outskirts too, but they come to the city a lot. And Lo Prabang, there's a lot of Hmong business people. Well, everybody's a business person. You don't even have to have a permit or anything to sell anything. You can just, it's like buying from Costco. Then you can just sell right outside your house. It's like a never-ending yard sale. That, but you have to be on the main road so that people stop, and then you just sell it to them. But over here in the US, you have to have a permit. Over there, there's no regulation for it. So, Lopperbang, their New Year's was like on the side of a river, but there's a lot of trees, so there's a lot of shade too. So during the day you have shade. In Ponsonville, there's no trees, so you don't have that much shade at all. And Lopperbang was cool. It's pretty small too, but it's very busy. You have to pay to park. Going to the New Year's is free, but you just have to pay to park. It was probably like 10,000 kip to park, which is about a little bit over $1.25 or something. And Lopperbang, yeah, the people are cool. Everybody's cool. Everybody's chill. No fights at the New Year's. No fights at all. Not even an argument over at the New Year's. It's very chill over there. But there was like trash everywhere. It's like there's no cans of trash cans out there. Like they should put it everywhere. Like every 50 or 75 yards, they should have a trash can, but people just throw everything on the ground. And Lopperbang, the Hmong people, a lot of Hmong people live in this little strip where Hmong businesses are. A lot of Hmong people own a lot of Hmong hotels in Lopperbang. They'll say it's the rich Hmong people that live in Lopperbang. And downtown, the night market in Lopperbang, it's very different from Vientiane, because Vientiane, they just wholesale products from China. But Lopperbang, they do that too, but a lot of people are artists out there, and they sell their crafts that they make themselves. It's really crafty. They just it's like a bowl of art, and then they'll sell it and stuff. And they'll sew their own stuff out, and they'll sell it. So there's that. There's a difference in the art markets from other cities. And there's I think it's called the Kwangsi Waterfall out there. It's about a 30-minute drive, because the roads are bad. And I would say it's one of the most beautiful waterfalls I've ever seen. And it has like is like something out of a fairy tale. I'll show you guys a picture. And the hike to it is not too bad. It's about half a mile. But then the hike up to the waterfall, that's pretty bad. It's about a third of a mile or so. And it's like straight up. There's like one that goes up this way, and then one that goes down. It cuts under the waterfall, so your feet will get wet. And we went around like that. And at the top of the fall, you get to see a lot of the scenery and stuff. It's very mountainous out in Lopperbang area. Ponsonville is very flat, but you can see a little bit of the mountains in the background. But Lopperbang, like in the city, you'll see the mountain right next to you. And Mount Pussy is like a local attraction. Like, you just park around it. It's right next to the night market area too. So we went to both at the same day. And it's pretty chill. It's a place where people used to go and pray, I guess. There's a temple at the top. And yeah, there's a lot of Buddha's statues and stuff on it. And you do have to pay once you get closer to the top. You can walk around near the bottom for free, but once you get higher, there's like an entrance to the very top. And it's not too bad. It's probably about like half a mile or so. It's just stairs. And that Lo Prabang is the city where you could ride elephants, so we did that. It's about like 180,000, which is about $25 or so. $20 or so. Yeah, 20 to $25 a person, which is not too bad. That's pretty good just to ride an elephant for about 30 minutes. And we did that. And that was fun. We fed the elephants. They're huge beasts. And I think there's like a couple places you could ride elephants in Lo Prabang, but it's only in Lo Prabang that I know of. I don't think it's in any other city. And on the north side, Phang Savan was cold. Lo Prabang's cold too. But and then Vientiane is like closer to the equator, so it's very tropical, very hot there. And the food in Lo Prabang was, they had food everywhere. I mean, Vientiane has it too, but yeah. Oh yeah, and Vientiane, the nightlife, I didn't really go check it out. I'm not a nightlife person, but I heard it was pretty poppin'. It's like it's the capital of the country, so pretty sure a lot of Lao people go party a lot. I wanted to get a massage, but I didn't want to do it. Went with my parents. And then we went to Van Vien. It's a very mountainous area. It reminds me almost like Vancouver. Because you can see the huge mountains in the background. It's very scenic over there. And then there's a cave over there. I forgot what the cave was called. But there's a cave over there that you could walk to. And then, I guess, it's a place where people pray to and stuff. So we just walked around and checked it out. It's probably like, I think it was like 15,000 to get in. But it's cool. And KM52, we're coming down to Vientiane, but we dropped by KM52 and we stayed there for a bit. KM50 has the most, it's like a stop and go city. Yeah, this is where people will just go to buy food or stop on the way to Van Vien or something. But it's a pretty well established city. A lot of Hmong people live within that city. They don't live, a lot of people live on the outskirts too, but a lot of people live within that city too. It's like a Hmong city. And the Hmong markets, it's just right there. Everything's right on the highway. So the Hmong markets is where a lot of people go shopping. And we went to the Namgam Reservoir as well, the hugest lake in Laos, which is a pretty big lake too. And we rode a boat for like 200,000 kip, which is about $25, but you could take like 1 to 50 to 75 people, and then you can split that 200k between 50 people on a big boat. It's a huge boat, so that's pretty worth it. I thought it was 200k per head, but it's 200k per boat ride, which is just me and my parents, which was pretty cool. We went around the lake for about 30 minutes or so. or an hour. Yeah, we went for an hour, so we went 30 minutes in, and then come back 30 minutes. And then I asked to drive the boat, and then they let me drive it too, so that was cool. It's very chill out there. I think the water's pretty polluted because of the agricultural and the people living around it. There's a lot of fish out there too. But, yeah, I think people poach all the time. So, there's no regulations there too. And then we came back to Vientiane, and then we went home. It was a very short trip, but it was a very long trip too. It was about 2 weeks or so. The longest part was just the flights and the driving, which next time I'm probably just flying within the country. But that's probably gonna cost as much as my plane ticket, which is only $500. Okay, now let's move on to the girls there. They're very nice. They know how to talk. They're not as aggressive as the ones here. Like, not all of them are aggressive, but not all of them are nice too, I guess, here. But over there, everyone's pretty nice. They're very upfront. And, I mean, they don't expect much because they don't have much too, for sure. But it's very chill there. It's like very down-to-earth people. Like, they don't look down on you. They do kind of look up to you a little bit. But I like looking, like, straight at people, you know? It's just how I am. I would never look down on nobody or look up to someone to give me a handout or anything, you know? Just do everything yourself. And, I mean, everybody says that they go dig, but that's the same thing here too. Everybody go digs. Man, I want a sugar mama too. I'm gonna go dig too. But yeah, it's I mean, I met a few friends over there. It's not that dangerous over there. It's very chill over there. It's like, for the 2 weeks I was there, I've never seen an argument or a fight or someone yell at each other. I didn't see it within 2 weeks. Like, over here in Cali, I would see one almost every day. Like, someone yell at each other or someone fighting. I would see on the news too. I'm pretty sure that people argue and fight almost every day there too, but everybody's very chill. They're very humble over there compared to over here. I would feel much safer walking over there at night than over here. I had the notion, because my parents said that we are prone to get robbed or whatever, but that's everywhere too. It's very dangerous in the US compared to Laos. I feel much safer walking around at night in Laos than in the big city like San Francisco, New York, even Sacramento too, because I don't want to get jumped or robbed. And on the layover in China, are the stereotypes of Chinese people being aggressive and have no manners? But they really are. They don't have no manners. They don't give a shit about anything and about anyone. Like, I would wait in line for the flight. We will all bunch up to a one-person stair up to the flight, and a Chinese guy will just walk by me and put his shoulder in front of me. I was like, you have the same seat as on your ticket. You don't get a better seat when you are first. But yeah, not all Chinese people are are like that, but a lot of them are. Yeah, they don't give a shit about anybody. I think I think those are the middle to higher class that act like that. Some lower class act like that too, but a lot of the lower class, a few of the lower class are very nice people because they know how it is, and they're trying to come up. And the homeless Hmong people in Laos, I did see a few, but yeah, this is a lot of kids. Like over here you'd see mostly adults, but over there I don't think that they're homeless, but they're just bored and have nothing to do with their friends, so they just go to places where they see tourists and ask for money, which I give them too, but and the lifestyle there is very. The government needs to upgrade the roads and the living conditions for people, but I mean, nobody has money, right? And if the government do have money, they just keep it for themselves, aka the Hmong Lao community. So well, they say China's gonna take over, but China has probably already 80% took over, 90% took over Laos already. Business and everything. Well, they basically took over USA too, because we're in debt to them. But we just like to keep the debt and then live by ourselves, right? But over there, I saw them building a train from Vientiane to Luo Prabang. I'm pretty sure they're gonna build it to Pausavan too, which will take over all the transportation, and nobody's gonna drive that much no more. They're just gonna train, ride, or fly. Maybe a few will drive, but yeah, that's very smart though, building a train. Hopefully they do it correctly instead of fast. And yeah, the lifestyle there, they just buy their own land. They pay like a mortgage of like, depending how much land you have. If it's just like a little section of like a house or whatever, I think it's like $10 a year or something. But if the bigger it is, a little bit more you pay, I guess. But they just buy land, and I don't know if they hire contractors or they build it themselves, but they build their own house. They do the ventilation, the outlets, the wiring, and then the bathroom, everything they do themselves. Or they hire a contractor, I'm not too sure. But here, we just rent out houses, right? I mean, they don't have too much, but they'll always have a home. And then a lot of people here, they just rent out houses. And then we could get kicked out anytime too, right? And the bathrooms there, they like the shower and the toilet is right next to each other. So while you're taking a shower, you're wetting the toilet. And I don't know if that's sanitary, but that's just the way it is. The whole floor of the bathroom's wet when you take a shower. And yeah, I'll show you guys a picture if I have it, or video. But yeah, you just shower and then you wet the toilet seat, everything. Then yeah, you just have to wipe the toilet dry every time, I guess. Yeah, the water heater thing, they have it within the bathroom, which only holds probably about 20 or 30 gallons or so. So it heats the water in the bathroom, and I can never figure out how to do it. There's like a little tweak. You have to tweak it at the right spot. It's like one this way is too cold, and then one that way is too hot. So you have to do it like right at the correct area. And bathrooms, you have to pay to use the bathroom if you walk around the mall or the places. You have to pay like 1 to 5,000 kip, which is under a dollar, like 50 cents or something. But yeah, there's no free bathroom out there. I was like, damn, I could pay 50 cents to take a piss here, or go to a goddamn tree to take a piss. But yeah, I paid to take a piss. But it's only free at your hotel, and if you pump gas, then the bathroom's free too. And a lot of the bathrooms are like a little shack area where you take a piss, and they have a huge bucket of water with a little cup, dipper, whatever. Then you have to scoop up water and pour it inside the toilet. And there's not an actual toilet, it's just like it's on the ground. So if you're taking a shit, you have to squat. But I never take a shit there. I go to the hotel and take a shit. And yeah, after you take a piss, you just scoop water and you just pour in there, and then it auto flushes for somehow. And the hotels are very cheap too. I mean, they're probably like, the highest is probably like 2 stars, less than that, 1 star. But most of them are not even half a star. They're like 0 star. Yeah, but for me, I just need Wi-Fi and a decent, at least clean sheets, and clean towels. That's it. And hotels, they run about average around, for a decent one. I mean, you could always find an expensive one, but you're not gonna find a Hilton in Pongsvang or whatever. The nice hotels are in Vientiane. I would say only in Vientiane, and all the other cities are just basic hostels or motels. And it runs around 100 to 150,000 kip, which is about 10 to 15 bucks. Sometimes it'll run around 200,000, but yeah, just budget, I guess. And they have mostly 1 beds, but they need to start having 2 beds. And I mean, the beds are just beds, right? The beds, they probably used those beds for over 10 years already. But just go there to sleep. And the washer and dryer systems that they don't have any dryers at all. I think if you're balling, you might be able to buy a dryer, but nobody has a dryer. They just have a washer, and then to dry it, they just spin it, which is the same thing as a washer here. And then they just hang it up outside, because it's always tropical, it's always hot, right? And it's clean, but it's not as clean. So when I got back, I washed all my clothes that was supposedly washed over there. And the religion that they believe in, it's pretty 50-50, like here too. Christianity is taking over for sure. because I guess they have a book about Christianity, right? The Bible and etc. And I'm pretty sure there's books about shamanism too, but it's not as famous as a Bible per se. They need to create a system or a book with instructions about shamanism, so you know what to do in situations, and you can refer to it when something happens, which we don't have that I know of. There's probably one or two out there, but it's different from who taught the shaman versus from where the shaman is from, because every shaman is different, but they should have like a specific guideline to follow. But yeah, a lot of people are converting to Christianity, which is cool too. I respect all religions. And everybody's getting pretty, I wouldn't say Americanized, but modernized, because everybody has an iPhone 10 or whatever already. Everybody has a brand new car there. Yeah, they have very nice cars, but their roads are all the way fucked up. And the traffic, it's crazy how they drive. They just merge. Like here, it will cause road rage, but everywhere they'll just merge. It's like somebody's, like, you can only go so fast on that road, on the roads too, because so many potholes. But they could be 25 yards away, and you could just merge in slowly, because everybody will just go around you. And that way, the system that they have, it's pretty crazy driving, but it doesn't cause that much traffic. Traffic moves really smoothly. Because the one thing about traffic here is, if there's a 4-way stop sign and it's a busy intersection, there's gonna be for sure traffic. But there, everybody would just merge in and cut at the same time. They'll be like this close to each other, and when they merge in, which is like, it flows like water, but that's too close for comfort. And the drinking there would be, there's no age for drinking. You could basically buy a 5-10-year-old could basically buy beer anywhere. Beer Lao. And they have a pretty good variety of beers. Beer Lao is the most famous. Is like the Bud Light of Lao. And they created hoppy lager. They created amber lagers. They created a dark lager, a white lager. They have a pretty good amount now, so they cater to the taste buds of craft people. And they have water bottles there that they sell too. And guess who owns the water bottles? Beer Lao owns the water bottles, which is genius. So they are basically the monopoly of beer and water there. And a lot of people drink. Everybody drinks. And I hate the fact that they put beer with ice in a cup. I hate that shit. I was like, hey, you have a beer. I went to a New Year's Vientiane. It was so small that we only stayed like 30 minutes. I was like, it was so hot there. It was probably like 90 degrees, and it was like 5-6 p.m. almost dark. I asked, oh, do you guys have beer? Then I saw their cooler with ice. I was like, oh, give me a beer. I didn't see a beer, but I was like, give me a beer that's cold. And I was like, oh, we don't have a beer that's cold. I can put it in ice for you. I was like, Man, never mind. I don't want to drink no more beer. Yeah, so yeah. And then another time in Lo Prabang, it's the same situation. They only pour beer with ice to cool it down, which I don't like it like that. I like it. So I told them, hey, can you put that beer inside that cooler with ice, and then I'll drink it in 10 minutes. So they did it, and then I drank it like in 10 minutes when it got cool. I don't know the population as much there, but I think there's a lot of Hmong people there. It's raining. And the New Year's is fun. No fights at all. It's very chill. So much trash that after the New Year's are finished, they'll hire people to throw away the trash, but they end up burning most of it, that it pollutes the whole city. One city, it was in Van Vien and 52. It was so smoky every day. I was like, why is it so smoky? And then it's because they were burning trash 24/7, all from the New Year's. And they have a lot of fun things to do. They eat darts with balloons. They have a go-kart on site during New Year's too. And then balloons and go-karts, and they have a huge blow-up jump house too. It's probably like 50-60 feet tall. You climb all the way up for the kids and stuff. Chinese people owns it, so they're geniuses. And I had a GoPro too, and I lost everything in it. It fucking sucks. But I lost everything, so I'll try to see if I could get that footage out. But yeah, that's my trip to Laos. I'm pretty sure I'm missing a few things, but that's the majority of it. And that's the end of the episode. J Mode Podcast.